Historically referred to as the Pearl of the Orient, the Philippines is blessed with an abundance of natural beauty. Not only through its lush natural resources, but also through its distinct native people. A host of diverse societies, over 180 ethnic groups bearing their own set of traditions, customs, and beliefs. These indigenous people, though separated geographically, are unified due to one simple fact. They're what truly give life to this land we call home. This is the Philippines. The DAYAW Festival is an annual celebration hosted by the NCCA, or the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. This is in line with Presidential Decree 1906, heralding October to be National Indigenous Month. Organized under the tutelage of SCCTA, or the Subcommission on Cultural Communities and Traditional Arts, DAYAW's commitment is to rekindle the interest and appreciation for indigenous cultures, which are constantly under threat of vanishing.
DAYAW was conceived in 2009 to showcase them as teachers of very important concepts about life, their deep understanding of nature, their artistic prowess. They're the best when it comes to preserving nature.
Representatives of 45 indigenous cultural communities of the Philippines visited various places of the archipelago, touching the hearts and minds of both young and old. Displaying their prowess and pride of their culture, sharing their beliefs and ways of life, not only to mainstream society, but among themselves as well. In fact, DAYAW has become more than just a festival. For the indigenous people, DAYAW has become this reunification of not just fellow countrymen, but of friends and family. DAYAW has become a promise of hope. This year, DAYAW continues that promise of a far grander, if not daring attempt to expand its reach beyond the Philippine shores.
Ang DAYAW ay hindi lang pagdiriwang sa buwan ng mga katutubong Pilipino. Para sa atin, ito ay pagdiriwang ng pagkakaunawaan, pagkakaisa ng katutubong Pilipino tungo sa kapayapaan at kaunlaran ng ating bansa. Dahil sa DAYAW natin makikita ang kulay at diwa ng tunay na pagkakaintindihan, pagtutulungan ng bawat isa, maitaguyod lamang ang layunin ng kamalayan at pagpapahalaga sa kultura. This is a celebration of the indigenous peoples, for the indigenous peoples, by the indigenous peoples.
In attendance are representatives of nearly 40 local and foreign tribes, all eager and anticipating the revelries that are to come. Hailing from the luscious lands down south, the southern cultural communities. The Tausug, the Iranong, Maguindanao, the Blaan, Sangir, the Tiboli, the Yakan, the Teduray, Arumanen, the Subanin, the Bukidnon, Higawnon, Talandig, the Mamanwa, the Manobo, the Mansaka, Kagan, Mandaya, the Bagobo, and the Sama, Bangini, Bajau. Representing the vast islands and plains, the central cultural communities. The Ilonggo, Hiligaynon, Kiniraya, Aklanon.
Rombloanon, Panay Bukidnon,
The Ati of Negros Occidental,
the Ati of Antique and Aklan,
The Ati of Guimaras, Iloilo, Capiz, the Boholano, Cebuano, the Jama Mapun, the Batak, Tagbanwa, Palawan, the Waray,
Tumagat of Quezon Province,
and the Mangyan. Stemming their roots from the Great North, the Northern Cultural Communities, the Iloco, the Ivatan Itbayat, the Gatdang,
Isnay,
the Tagalog Kapampangan Sambal, the Tingyan Itneg,
Ibanag, Kalinga,
the Isnag Apayao, the Bugkalot, the Balangao Bontok Aplay, the Kasiguran, the Ifugao, and the Bolinao Pangasinense. And for the very first time in DAYAW history, joining the celebration are brethrens from overseas. From Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, South Korea, and even from Australia.
We are actually planning to stage a very big event in General City this coming 2017. And we are making it international. We are expecting to have international delegates with us from ASEAN countries. So in effect, this is something like a prelude to that activity.
And with the banging of the symbolic gong, the convergence commenced with a rousing display of dances of each group. At first, the dances seemed idiosyncratic, individualized by the unique characteristic of each indigenous culture. But as if on some divine cue, all groups congregated into a beautiful formation of motion and sound. A testimony of DAYAW's success, regardless how distant people are from each other, there will always be certain similarities that link us together.
Yung sonata po nila, yung sa Igorot, parang pareho lang po kasi yung pag-step ng paa namin. Din yung nila sa instrumento nila, pagtutugtog. Para nasasabayan din namin yung tugtog nila.
I feel like a home because we have same culture, similar physically, and very humble.
I feel really excited to be in here and to meet all our people, all Asian and Philippines.
Ito kasi pagka gumamit ka ng ganito kasi yung mga tao na halimbawa, example yung mga ginagalang sa tribu. Halimbawa, example natin isinumbin na parang dato.
If there's one constant among the indigenous people, both local and foreign, it is their penchant and passion to create art in all things they do, from the clothes they wear to the tools they fashion. Exhibited at the Quezon City Experience Museum is a myriad of colorful and interesting pieces from different cultures. Like Indonesian musical instruments derived from bamboo, historical garbs by Korean royals, Thai rattan and wicker crafts, photos of Aboriginal art from Australia, And surrounding these Asian treasures are the works of the Manlilikha ng Bayan, or the national living treasures. The Manlilikhang Bayan is the highest honor awarded to traditional folk artists who have dedicated their lives in preserving and exemplifying Philippine traditions. One of them, Alonzo Saclag, was there to present the brilliance of Kalinga music and dance. Just a few meters away is a recreated Ifugao house commissioned by the NCCA. Though hardly modern, it seemed very sturdy and comfortable.
That's why indigenous peoples are healthier. Mas malulusog ang mga tutubo kasi sila kompleto. Sila ang gumagawa ng sarili nilang damit, sining, musika, panitikan, literatura, pagkain, lahat na. Pati panggagamot sa kanila nang gagaling. In other words, the more creative you are, the healthier you are. Communities are more humble because they are more complete. Our natural birthright is to be creative. And you have to bring out the artist in you. Mas lalo kayong artistic, mas lalo nyo inilalabas ang kalooban nyo. You bring out what is within. The moment you bring out what is within, you open your hearts. Opening our hearts is the best way to communicate with other people. You become open, and so you welcome other people to become one with you. Imagine if all of our hearts are open to one another, there will be so much peace in this world.
And that is the true message of Dayaw. That amidst all the differences in ideals and beliefs, the willingness to open one's heart to everything, to everyone around you, can be infectious. Enough to bring out some glimmer of hope for the future. As part of the Dayaw movement, the indigenous people visited various schools throughout the metro, enlightening young minds to a rediscovery of their very own cultural heritage. The reception was phenomenal, as each performance was greeted with eager hearts. In fact, everyone wanted to be part of the act. It was a heartwarming occasion for everyone, especially to the indigenous people. It was apparent in the eyes of their youthful audience that their legacy need not disappear, that their future is still as bright as ever.
Maybe you already know about batik. This is batik. And this is Prada. Prada.
Para po sa akin, malaki pong bagay po ito bilang sa pagiging estudyante ko po. Kasi bihira na lang pong makita ng katulad kong estudyante yung mga ganitong bagay. One of a kind experience.
This is where we'll cut this and then we'll chop.
As a millennial po, syempre, we are influenced na po by modern culture and dapat natin na sinasabi ko. So, and we're very thankful. Wala po kaming idea how rich this culture is, and we're very proud to be Filipinos.
Various fora and talks are also conducted during the festival, discussing current issues affecting the indigenous communities. Though some discussions may often be impassioned, performances from local and foreign guests ease the flow of communication. And from the streets of Quezon City, the celebration continues to far-off Bulacan for a hearty excursion. Touring the streets and learning the history, the indigenous people's presence enhanced the scenery, proving once more that wherever, whenever Dayaw is to be held, the festivities would definitely be a joyful occasion. Culminating the festival is a concert representing the allegiances formed among the indigenous people and their foreign counterparts. The exquisite nature of their collaborations mark a new chapter to the DAYAW festival. That the movement will no longer be simply of one country, but of one world uniting to be one single tribe. Recognitions were also given to exemplary students of the Manlilikha ng Bayan, as well as a special honor to Senator Lauren Legarda for her efforts in support for the advocacies of the indigenous culture.
It's very important that we know both our tangible and our intangible heritage, from our epics and our chants and our rituals to our weaves in the different regions of our country, to our music, our dance. We are so rich as a nation, and perhaps all the culture of our indigenous peoples, more than 100 IP groups all over the country, could be the unifying factor that can unite us as a nation.
The DAYAW Festival has once again raised awareness to the importance of learning one's history amid the bustle of modern life. DAYAW holds a promise for a bright future by honoring the gifts of the past.